Listen. I know. I know. No, I know. I don't have a wife. So, it's been a bit of a year, hasn't it? It's been an interesting year. But one thing I can always count on, comics. I read, as you can see, I read a lot. This isn't even all of it. Let me let you in on a little secret here. Some of these it's only the first volume, so like Criminal, there's actually, multiply that by I don't know, add 10 to there. Add 10 to there. Jessica Jones, add 2 more. Add 2 more. It's a lot, all right. It's a lot. I don't do anything. I just sit at home and read comics all day. That's why I've been running this channel a little bit. So, anyways, I thought this would be kind of fun. Just a fun little video to sort of go over all of the comics that I've read this year, all of the trade paperbacks, and yeah, just have a fun time. Some of these I will remember more than others, which sort of maybe speaks to, I guess, the memorability of the comic, or just sort of how I felt about it, or, you know, if it stuck with me. Obviously the ones at the bottom I'll remember more compared to the ones at the top, but you know, I could share little stories that I had, you know, if I have anything that I remember, like, from reading it and everything, like, oh yeah, I remember reading this in, like, the parking lot or something like that, or I don't know. And some of these I won't go over as much, because I want to save them for specific videos. Like, for instance, some of the compacts I want to save for our ranking of the compact comics I'm about to buy, the last 4 that I need, and read all of those, and I still have to read Batman, Superman, whatever the frick that freaking thing is called, by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness or whatever. Anyways, I started off the year because I was prepping for writing a Superman script. I started off with JMS's Superman Earth One. This is only the first volume. I've not read the rest of them. But I quite enjoyed this. It's a very cool, like, sort of alternate take on Superman. He's much more younger and everything, and I like the aspect of him, like, trying to be a more well-rounded person. He's trying out for sports, he's working in journalism, you know, he's working on a lab and everything like that, and stuff like that, to make some money, and also to be more well-rounded. Sort of reminds me of how, like, in Absolute Batman, you know, Batman, or Bruce, is, like, sort of, like, working these, like, tough jobs and everything to strengthen himself, and to sort of, like, you know, get an eye on Gotham, and sort of, like, learn about Gotham and understand it from the underground and everything from the ground up. So I think that sort of relates to this too. I think that's kind of a cool take on Superman. He's a little younger and everything. I feel like the artwork is pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's very of its time. That's a compliment. So it looks pretty nice. I mean, JMS, you can't miss out on him. He's so amazing. He's so many great runs. His Thor run, his Spider-Man run, top tier stuff. He's currently writing Spider-Man Torn, which is quite great as well. I'm not torn on it. I do love it. It's great. Probably one of the best Spider-Man books right now. I mean, there's a lot of Spider-Man books, but I mean, you can't really say that about a lot of them. Most people, we're to talk about Superman, man. But anyways, yeah, no, so this is quite good stuff from JMS. Not my absolute favorite thing from him, but I do think it's cool, and I love seeing him write for Superman. So this was a fun start of the year. Pretty easy read. One of the things that caught me off guard is this isn't separated into issues. This is one volume. It's all the Earth books are like that. They don't have, like, issues or anything like that. They're just one thing. And then, like, of course, like, the collections, that's all 3 of them, because I don't know about all of them. I think a lot of them had just 3 volumes or whatever. It's all of that put together. So it's like, oh, volume 1 is like one trade, and then it's like, you know, volume 2, yes, you know, or I should say issue. So it's like a long issue in a way. That's how I kind of think about it. Anyways, though, yeah, it was a pretty good start to the year. Let's talk about something even better, though. Haha. So Daredevil is one of the characters that got me into comics. That's why I have such an affinity for the character. I love the character so much. And one of the very first comics I ever read, when I was seriously getting into comics in the 4th grade, was Daredevil by Ed Brubaker. That's how old I am, man. Don't do the math, alright? Don't be posting in the comments how old I am, man. I know I'm 55 years old, alright? I did the math for you. Anyways, though, so even though Mark Waid was really the Daredevil run that got me cemented into the character, it was the Ed Brubaker run, specifically the stuff leading up to, and of course the arc itself of Lady Bullseye, that really got me into the character. And it was because of my good friend Jack at the time. You know, in 4th grade, you know, he really inspired me to read comics and stuff. And I mean, look where I am now. If I didn't meet Jack, you know, who the heck knows what I'd be doing right now? I'd probably be doing like, you ever seen those cool domino videos? That'd probably be me, but instead I'm reading comics and stuff. So that's also kind of cool. Ed Brubaker is just so freaking good. This started my absolute love for Ed Brubaker. It sort of started actually with reading Winter Soldier and then rereading it the same year. But I was like, all right, I gotta go back and look at some more Ed Brubaker stuff. I read his Batman. It's pretty good. You know, obviously I read his Daredevil, and this actually is Hell to Pay. This is I think like around the middle section, or like the early middle section of his run. This isn't the first volume of his run. I forget what that one is called, but his run picks up after Bendis's, which is, I mean, that's a massive feat, and he freaking knocks it out of the park. And Michael Lark, his art is, oh my, come on, look at that, come on, look at that, man, come on, that's stunning. I actually bought this on my comic shop. I bought Volume 2 first. I was like, you know, I should buy Volume 1. So I bought Volume 1 on Amazon for like $9 freaking, man. It was great. I'd love to read all of this one day. I know they have modern epic collections of this, so I'll probably do that one day. But I had to dip my toes in a little bit with Hell to Pay. Very, very well written, very, very heavy stuff, and really good stuff. There's the Scarecrow ripoff is in here, Mr. Fear or whatever. Don't worry, he's pretty cool though. He's pretty cool. He's not just like, oh, that's Scarecrow. He's like, no, he's Scarecrow, but he's also incredibly tragic and leads to some pretty messed up stuff. That's great. So it wasn't great for Matt, but it was great for us as the reader, really wanting some drama. So that's great. How many times can I say great in this video? Count all the times I say great and put it in the comments for me, please. Anyways, though, yeah, really great. Oh, there we go. Really fantastic stuff. We're switching up. Really fantastic stuff here. Especially there's an issue that I think, is it in this one or is it in the first volume? No, it's in the first volume. Okay, yeah, it's like issue 89 or issue 90 something. And it's about at this point Matt's girlfriend slash wife, and Noah, and sort of her experience being in a relationship with Matt as he is Daredevil, and it's some heavy stuff, man. It's really good. It's a single issue. It's probably one of my favorite single issues that I've read this year, so it's great. Really good stuff. You can't go wrong with Brubaker, man, and you can't go wrong with Daredevil. Most of the time. Speaking of Bendis, we got Secret War. Now, I swear I had this as a kid, because I remember like flipping through this and seeing the cool, like, oh, look at this, all these little like informations with that. This is before I understood how to use Wikipedia. I remember that. But I was like, this is so cool. I get to see all these like characters with it. Like, a shocker. I'm gonna chase this guy to the end of the earth. I'll tell you what. See him, chase him to the end of the earth. But yeah, Secret War is really good stuff. It is. I think the final issue is pretty good. I feel like that's one of the things that I find with Bendis a little bit sometimes, is that the final issue can either be really great or can just be like that was good. I feel like in this instance, the final issue is pretty good. The overall story I think is cool. We've mentioned it a few times in some of the videos that we've done last year. I don't know when this will be posted. It'll probably be posted in 2026, so Happy New Year. But yeah, no, this is cool. Like, Nick Fury captures these superheroes and stuff like that, and makes them go on this secret mission, and then all of a sudden, he wipes their memory and everything, and they're like, oh, what, secret mission, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, like, stuff explodes, like, oh, what the heck is going on? So they, Nick Fury's like, sorry guys, I brainwashed you. It's one of those things, right? Sometimes you just gotta brainwash people. And they're like, yeah, that's cool, man. No, they don't say that, actually. But this is also has a cool tie-in with Jessica Jones' The Pulse, so I recommend reading this before you read that, because I didn't appreciate The Pulse as much, that particular arc as much, until I reread this. Like, oh, you know what, actually, he was kind of cooking out. At first I was like, this is good, but now I'm like, alright, but I see what you're doing there, Bendis. And the art as well is fantastic. I mean, look at that, that's insane. This is some really beautiful thousands art there. That is not, look just how like the atmosphere and stuff that's made by the colors. I mean, and the way that they color the characters as well, and they stand out. Like, you see like the background and stuff is very stark, and the characters really stand out from that too. Like, it's very bright. It could have been easy to lose the characters in the backgrounds, but they freaking jump out like freaking crazy 3D action stuff. It's cool. So this is some fun stuff. I especially love the interaction between the heroes. Like, there's a really fun bit of Peter and Matt on a plane with Wolverine. That's good stuff. So, to continue my Superman stuff, I read everything but the mainline Superman, I swear. Action Comics, Superman, this is a New 52, the first volume of New 52 by Grant Morrison, the fabulous and wonderful Grant Morrison. He's pretty good. I liked Earth One better, to be honest, but this is kind of cool. This one felt a little inconsistent to me. There was stuff that I really liked, and stuff I was like, that's good, it's good, I like it. The stuff with Brainiac and like the city and everything, stealing Metropolis, that was really good. That stuff is great. That happens like towards the end. Yeah, look at that, that's cool. I kind of like this take of Superman as like this like sort of like force of like people are like, oh, I don't know about this guy, man, you know, and he's like, he doesn't have his suit or anything like that just yet. He has to get it later in the book, but he wears like the tee and he's got the cape and stuff like that. I think that's cool. He comes across much more like emotional and sort of angry and stuff like that, which I think is interesting too. Sort of, you know, can perhaps relate to James Gunn's Superman a little bit there, so I think that's cool. It's pretty good. I feel like it peaks once we reach the whole city arc with Brainiac and stuff like that, but then after that, it's like, it's still pretty good, but that's definitely my absolute favorite part about that. That's the great stuff there. Art looks nice. The stuff with Lex Luthor is, of course, really good too. I really appreciate that, so, I don't have much to say about this one. It's pretty good. I would probably recommend Earth One more than New 52, but New 52 has got its moments, man. I've only read the first volume. Maybe the second volume is like the best thing ever written in the entire planet. I could be wrong. I don't know. Who knows? Speaking of the best thing ever written in the entire planet, I actually remembered. I just read that. So on a little cruise, my family, I brought 2 comics. I brought New 52 Superman, which was nice, and then I brought Petrol Head. Woohoo! This is an Image comic, and this is a really amazing Image comic. I wish, gosh, Rob, just make some more already, please. This came out in 2024. I read the first issue. I just bought it because like this person I watch recommended it. I was like, alright, I'll give it a try, and I did, and I was like, alright, I'll wait for the trade. It was very painful, but I did, and I got the first volume. I do want to make a video on this, so probably won't be talking about this as much in detail, but really fun stuff. If you like Mad Max, if you like Hot Wheels, it's kind of like a fun combination. It's sort of this somewhat post-apocalyptic society that sort of is like banned like petrol heads, you know. It's sort of more about clean energy and everything like that, and against pollution and everything, but sort of like the everything that comes out of that, and sort of like let me throw you something real quick. It's kind of like Cars 3 a little bit, where they're like, oh, you know what, screw this, we need more electric cars and everything like that and stuff, which I mean is good, but yeah, this is some fabulous stuff. If you want to look for a good Image comic, something that's not too expensive, things like 25, no, hold on, it's $15, $19.99 if you're in Canada. Sorry about that, Canadians, but if in the good old USA, only $15, this bad boy can be yours for free, with a payment of $15. But look at that, so nice and vibrant. Love the sort of almost cartoony vibe it has and stuff, but it's still able to get into these more gritty places and everything, especially if it's like, you know, use of shadows and stuff, and its use of action and movement is really fun too. And I mean, the sound effects, look at that. Yeah, that's great. Petrol Head, guys, look at that. This is the first compact comic that I read this year. Before this, I only had like 4 or 5, and then I increased that exponentially. So it's also dusty. What is this on there? I don't know. Anyways, this is amazing. If you've not seen our ranking of these, this was really fun by Paul Dini. That's one of the things that attracted me to this. I mean, come on, Paul Dini, amazing writer, amazing. This is very fun, sort of tale of all these ladies that were former, you know, criminals, are sort of working together and everything to try to, you know, make their lives better, and to try to hopefully, you know, maybe make some other people's lives better too. There's a lot of fun arcs. There's a cool Joker thing in there. I love the stuff they do with the Riddler. This is one of the things, if you haven't seen it, I mentioned that there's a lot of context here that's like, well, I don't know, okay, just go along with it. Hush is posing as Bruce Wayne. I mean, yeah, when is he not? Riddler is now a private eye. I mean, yeah, of course, obviously, yeah, I mean, of course. But it's really fun. Sort of has a little bit of a slice of life element to it too. It says Harley Quinn in the Gotham Sirens, but I would say that Harley Quinn is definitely a main character in some arcs, but I would say that in other arcs it's definitely maybe more Catwoman and maybe a little more Poison Ivy. But really fun stuff. There's some fun stuff where they have to get jobs and everything like that. Like Poison Ivy becomes like a I forgot which freaking biologist. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, this is pretty cool. The artwork's really nice too. Very of its time as well. The covers are very cool. Look at that. That's cool. Look at that. That's not the cover, actually. That's the title drop. Hold on. Where's the cover? Look at that. That's really cool. That's really cool. So very, very eye-catching covers. It's bright, poppy visuals and its poses and stuff. Don't look at that too long. All right, hold on. Anyways, and then I read. This is something that I really liked as a kid. I remember when this first came out. I bought the first issue. I have it twice. I don't know why. I was like, I gotta get it twice. You like it so much, you get it twice. This is Bendis. I was like, alright, I was looking forward to this. I just played the Guardians of the Galaxy game this year. Fantastic. If you haven't played it, come on, man. What are you waiting for? Go play it right now. Alright, pause the video, play it. But I was like, I'm ready to dive into some more Guardians because that game is awesome. Very James Gunnian, but it does its own thing too, so I love that. Story is really fun. Really captures the vibe of Guardians just amazingly. Wish you could play as the other characters, but, you know, other than that, it's quite good. But, this is okay. It's pretty good. The first issue, which is issue 0, which is like sort of like the prequel to us, was just sort of familiar to all of you Guardians fans that are aware of Peter Quill's past with his father coming to Earth and seeing Meredith was like, dang girl. And then yeah. Anyway, and then sort of Peter's own like problems and stuff like that, and sort of the attack on his house and everything by the dunes or whatever, and stuff. It's good stuff. I like that a lot. That first issue is great, and the backup issues in the back are great too. These little bonus, like little one-shots and stuff about each of the Guardians is really fun. Love that. Very cool, fun style, a little Western influence in some of them, which is awesome. I love the Drax one especially. That's some good stuff. Look at that, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. The overall story is fine. It's pretty good. Sort of like this standard like invasion type thing. Iron Man is there and stuff. It was good. I enjoyed reading it, but it wasn't something that I'd be like, I gotta read this every year. It was good. It was pretty good. It's probably on the lower side of the things that I read this year, but I did appreciate that. It's not one of Bendis' best though. We'll talk about that as we go on. We got some more of that. Don't you worry. I'm just gonna growing pile of nonsense back there. Here we go. Fantastic. This is the first video I did for this channel as when I was Avengers Twilight. Amazing book. I love it so much. I remember like going for like a job interview or whatever, and I showed up early, so I read like a chapter or an issue of this in the car. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I got the job too, so thank you, Chip Zdarsky, for the job. No, but anyways, art obviously fantastic. Daniel Acuna, like, look, I mean, come on, it's like so very like cyberpunky infused, but also like gritty and everything, and just such captivating and interesting art. I love it. It's just very beautiful. But yeah, sort of this future story of you know, how like superheroes have gone the way of the dinosaur, and now we've got like this new Avengers and everything like that. But it's more about the sort of the deeper connection. It's sort of like about this control over you know, media and information, and sort of how things can get skewed and how things can sort of get revised. Like one of the most interesting things about this sort of the revisionism of Red Skull as like this you know, like, oh, he was misunderstood, you know, that's really interesting. And sort of like how Captain America gets painted as like this sort of out of touch guy and everything like that, and sort of like this combination of like new and old. I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff to be said in here. Is it the most nuanced thing ever? Nah, probably not, but it's still really interesting, and definitely like raises some interesting questions, and it's probably one of the best Avengers books that I've read, and just in general one of the best Avengers books in recent years. I like Jed MacKay a lot, and I think his Avengers is quite good, but I'm checked out of it. I've not read it for like at least 5 or 10 issues, so I don't know what's going on there, man. But Avengers Twilight, that's where it is. That's what's going on. And then I really wanted to get into some more indie comics, so I picked up Paper Girls. I picked up the first 3 volumes of Paper Girls, and I was like, alright, I'll just get all of them and read them all. I was like, the first volume I thought was quite good. I was a little worried. I was like, well, did I make a mistake? Should I have picked up all these? Because I wasn't like super like grabbed by the first volume. I read the second volume and I was like, alright, I'm reading all these. so it gets really good. The first volume is quite good. The second volume is freaking knocks it out of the park. I think my favorite volume is probably, maybe, it's hard actually, I don't know. Because I think the last set of volumes, 4, 5, and 6 are probably the best, but 2 is also great as well. 3 is pretty good, and 1 is pretty darn good as well. I think 3 is probably the weakest, then 1. But maybe the 6th volume is the best, or the 4th, I don't know. The point is, though, this is a fascinating story. It gets kind of compared to Stranger Things a little bit, but it actually came out before Stranger Things, so eat that, man. Get out of here, Duffer Bros, man. It's Paper Girls time. It's funny, like, when the Amazon Prime show came out, I was like, oh, guys, look, it's Amazon Prime's Stranger Things. No, it's not. Stranger Things is Netflix's... Well, anyway, the point is, this is quite good. It's very fascinating, sort of the story of like trying to find your place in the world and everything. Sort of relates to this like this video I've not done yet still about the millennial allegory and stuff, and how about just sort of like the promise of tomorrow and how that gets like destroyed and changed in an ever-changing, fastly changing world and stuff, and sort of trying to find your place out of that. And sort of it talks a lot about destiny and everything, and sort of like our place in the world. But it's this interesting like time travel-y sort of story of how things just sort of get messed up and everything by people meddling with time, and these girls sort of get caught in the middle of it, and they have to like sort of try to find a way to put the pieces back together and fix whatever they can. A lot of fun stuff, really interesting time travel stuff. They go into the future, they go into the past. I mean, it's a time travel, so what else are they gonna do, right? But I got so excited I closed my camera. But anyways, so Rorschach. We also did a video on this as well. You can tell when I started making videos on this channel, right? Yeah, very fascinating sequel to Watchmen. It feels like it complements it. It sort of harmonizes. It doesn't try to paint itself as better, but it tries to paint itself as something that is interesting and very timely and everything, especially now too. Sort of it's interesting It's interesting methods, what I meant to say, and its overall approach and its deeper messages and everything like that. And something that I value in it is sort of its ability to act like a Rorschach test, and to sort of, I think, when a person reads it, I think they'll get different things out of it. It's one that I really want to reread because I just found it fascinating, and it really was thought-provoking. And it's something that I definitely, still think about even today too. That it's just so very well constructed and just so fascinating. I'm just super impressed by it. One of my favorite bits is the bit that I did. If you've seen the video, I did a little comic dub in the beginning. You can be a citizen, and today I wanted to be a citizen and everything like that. Sort of its discussion of the responsibility of a citizen and everything, and what to do in whatever context you're in. So it's really just amazing stuff. The artwork is very good by Jorge Fornes, and the art, or the inking too, or sorry, the coloring too by Dave Stewart is great too. Dave Stewart also did the coloring for, I believe, which is also in here. Yep, it is New Frontier. So very fantastic colorist. So that is awesome. Speaking of Dave Stewart, I would wonder if Dave Stewart did the coloring for this. I don't know, but yeah, Darwin Cook and Ed Brubaker. That's an insane duo right there. Catwoman, Trial of the Catwoman. Really good stuff here. The first little bit is Darwin Cook doing his thing. If you're not familiar with Darwin Cook, he of course did, which we'll be talking about soon in the New Frontier. He has such a very cartoony style to his work, which is just super charming. Very almost sort of 50s inspired, with a little bit of noir, but not like classic noir, but sort of almost like a neo-noir, in between in a way, where it's in color and everything. It's in that sort of nice Technicolor look, but it's not like neo-noir per se, so it's really good stuff. Maybe it is a little bit neo-noir, and we'll get that, but yeah, very just such a genius creator, not only just from a writing standpoint, but also just an art too, and just his ability to tell a story through the art, of course, too, is obviously a very important thing for a comic writer. And then, of course, the continuing stories of Ed Brubaker as Catwoman sort of tries to become this sort of force of good for her community is really fun too. So, and you get a little art. Darwin Cook doesn't stay on for everything, but he definitely does do some pretty nice art here. So, yeah, underrated compact comic in my opinion. One of the best, I would say. Besides, like, obviously the classics. I mean, you can't beat the classics, but I feel like this is a really good one to appreciate if you're looking for compact comics, man. There you go. You're welcome. I try to read a lot of DC because I've not really read that much DC in my reading career. It's mostly been Marvel. I've tried to broaden my horizons this past year with Image and DC. I think I've done that successfully because, I mean, there's definitely, you'll see some pretty long swaths where I did not really read a lot of Marvel, and I really focused more on DC, but I kind of missed it sometimes, so I had to go back, and I'm kind of in that space right now too a little bit. But anyways, also did a video on this as well. Alan Scott Green Lantern, of course. This really cool Golden Age push that they did, I think in 2023 with Alan Scott. They did Jay Garrick, and they also did Wesley Dobbs. So very cool. I've not read those other two, but I wanted to read this, especially for, I wanted to do a video for Pride Month, talking about this and sort of like the queer allegory that this had running through it, this idea of feeling different and not necessarily feeling like, you know, the world around you is exactly meant for you and everything. So I thought that was pretty powerful. Really cool book. Interesting sort of revisionism of Alan Scott a bit, so that might bother some people, but I think it's done pretty tastefully, I would say. I mean, I'm not like a big like Alan Scott fan, so I'm not like, oh, but even still, I think it's quite nice. I don't know if you've really done anything meaningful with Alan Scott in recent years after this, but this is a really cool and interesting way to sort of combine this somewhat murder mystery type thing and tragedy into this sort of allegorical work, and yeah, to really provide meaning and stuff. It's not just about like queer allegory, but it's also just simply about, you know, a general sense of belonging and everything, and sort of feeling like you are different, which I think people, you know, can relate to. So you don't have to be gay to relate to that, or queer or whatever. Anyways, though, yeah, this is fabulous. Artwork is stunning. Sort of this classic look, but new, like sort of a new age mix with classic look. It really captures just this bold, sort of heroic, larger than life scale that DC has, but also really humanizes it too of some of these more darker moments. The Arkham issue is devastating, man. That's some tough stuff. So this is not to be taken lightly. It's a pretty heavy book. You saw me lift it up, man. I was using all my muscles. Anyway, speaking of Bendis, he came back to Jessica Jones in, like, I don't know, 2014. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. 2017. That was close. We're close enough. All right, whatever. The point is, he had written, you know, it had been about 10 years since he wrote Jessica Jones. He came back to it, and this is really fascinating too. The first volume sort of goes into the Civil War II, you know, arc. Hold on. Wait, hold on. No, I know. But the Civil War II spin-offs, tie-ins, whatever you want to call it, actually pretty good. Let me tell you something. Civil War II, we don't got to talk about that. It's not on my shelf. It's not in the stack. Don't worry about it. But the tie-ins, the Miss Marvel Civil War II tie-in almost makes Civil War II worth it. All right. This one is also pretty good too. There's a character like, who is that? And I looked at, oh, he's Civil War II. Of course. Pretty interesting stuff. It involves Carol and like this like person that's kind of like a victim of Civil War II, so that was pretty fascinating. The artwork is amazing. Michael Gaydos returns. Not only does Michael Gaydos return, but also Bendis and Michael Gaydos returns, and Hollingsworth too. Also the colorist for, I think, I don't know if all of Jessica Jones, but I'd imagine, I think so. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Colorists don't get enough praise, by the way. Praise your local colorist, please. I mean, look at this stuff. This is part of the reason this all works is not only Michael Gaydos' work, but the colorist really. Hold on. I know Ryan's gonna like this. There he is. Okay. But sort of the deeper shades and the deeper shadows, and I mean, look at the atmosphere in this. This is like a Fincher movie, man. That's insane. The first story is pretty good. The second story is interesting. It's about Maria Hill and sort of these life model decoys stuff going on. It's kind of a fun story. I don't think it's as executed as strongly as it could have been, but it's still pretty fun. You can definitely feel, no offense to Bendis, I feel like in the tens he starts to not get as good as he was in the thousands. The thousands was peak Bendis, man. Ultimate Spider-Man, Jessica Jones, the original run, Alias, and all sorts of other fun stuff he did. He was like the king of event stuff, you know, his Secret War, House of M, Secret Invasion, all that stuff was him. insane. Siege, Dark Avengers, come on, man. I mean, he's the master. But the third volume, the final thing that he wrote for Jessica Jones, was great. It's really good stuff. It's probably easily the best volume out of this. It doesn't quite compare it to Alias, but it's still quite a good and excellent finale. The final issue, perfect. They're actually doing, I was going to make a separate video on this, like comics for next year, and I probably will still. They're doing a new Alias, because obviously Synergy, Jessica Jones is going to be born again, so they're like, listen, I'm excited, but Bendis isn't returning, Michael Gaydos isn't returning, so we'll see. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, not the best Jessica Jones, probably the worst out of all the Bendis stuff, but it's still pretty good. It's still Jessica Jones, so I should say. It's still good. Speaking of Kingdom Come, I actually finally read Kingdom Come. I read this like really fast. I read this like in like maybe a day or two. No, I think it was like 2 days. Nice artwork by, of course, the illustrious Alex Ross. Very, very grandiose artwork. I especially love the way that he does the, we lost that. Alright, well, I guess we'll never know. The way, hold on, it's coming up. The way that he does this stuff with the Spectre and everything, I think that's really fascinating. Sort of like ethereal sort of feeling and everything, otherworldly feeling. This is pretty cool stuff. I love the sort of religious content in here. I'm not a religious person, but I think it's really interesting. There's some really just banging lines in this. I love the stuff they did with Wesley Dobbs in the beginning, and this interesting exploration of a world where there's a new age of superheroes and they're much more violent and mean, and we need the old superheroes to come back. You can sort of take this in different ways. I think one of the more pessimistic ways that this can be interpreted is this idea that, you know, only old stuff is good, almost in a way, like, oh, all this new stuff kind of sucks, we need to go back to more traditional values, but I don't think it's necessarily talking about that. I think it's talking about sort of, you know, the wisdom and just the true heroicism of these classic characters and everything, and how they can be an inspiration even still, and to not lose our way. So I think that's really interesting. This is a pretty cool compact version. This is probably one of the ones I'd probably recommend a larger version, because I mean the art, I mean it doesn't suffer from like a smaller version. It's not like another book we're talking about, but yeah, I think this is definitely one that deserves a larger format. But I mean, come on, $10 for Kingdom Come, I'm not gonna pass up on that. What are you talking about? The stack's getting a little crazy over here, hold on. But anyways, Secret Wars, I have read this before. I didn't read it when it came out, even though I was reading comics when it came out. I have the Red Skull tie-in for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I guess it was cool, so I got it. But that was like the only Secret Wars thing that I had when I was reading this, besides like the other like obvious tie-ins. They were part of series that I was already reading at the time. But anyways, though, you know, Jonathan Hickman, really, really wonderful art. The only thing that I find off-putting by the art sometimes is the occasional ugly face. Yeah, but I think it's fine. I think it fits. I hope that the Secret Wars movie pulls from this. I'd love to see some, of course, classic Secret Wars too, which is good too. You know, can't go wrong with Mr. Shooter, rest in peace. But yeah, no, there's a lot of cool concepts. I love the idea of the Thors being like this sort of police force and everything, and Doctor Strange being the sheriff. I mean, God Emperor Doom is amazing. He's like the main character in this book, and all of the fascinating stuff with the, you know, the multiversal stuff. I love the Peter and Miles interactions. It feels like it sort of sets the stage for future things to come. And yeah, the Doom stuff really makes it worth it. And to see our man, Mr. Ribic, doing more Thor, because he also did the art for, I think, if I'm trying to remember, I think it was for Jason Aaron's run of Thor, which looks amazing too. I'm 90% certain it was. But anyways, yeah, really, really grand stuff, really fascinating stuff. There's a lot of great moments too. I love the bit. Well, I'll let you read, but yeah, anyways. I'm not going to talk much about this one because it's freaking phenomenal, and I want to save that for the actual video of ranking, but this was a surprise to me. I was like, I was kind of on the fence, like, I don't really know much about Batwoman, it'd be kind of cool to read something about, you know, Batwoman, and I saw Greg Rucka, I was like, okay, I like Greg Rucka quite a bit. The artwork is insane. It's like absolute just artwork is the way to describe it. It's art, you know. It's very stunning. It's almost like a stained glass window in some spots, man. Just like how just stunning it is. It's so good. It reminds me a little bit of Hawkeye with David his work and sort of the way that it's done in a little cartoony look a little bit. But it's phenomenal. This is, out of all of these that I've read, out of all of the compact comics that I read, there's two that I probably recommend the most, depending on, like, I guess, like, who you are or whatever. Like, you're a Batman fan, I mean, you gotta get Court of Owls, of course. But two that I recommend: Batwoman and New Frontier, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, this is great stuff, really good stuff. Superman Birthright, I read this around the time of the Superman movie, sort of as preparation. This is sort of a modern retelling of his origin story by Mark Waid. I mean, we just talked about Mark Waid when it came to Kingdom Come. He's an amazing writer. Love his work very much, and this is phenomenal too. I love I mean, come on, man. I love the Lex stuff and everything, and sort of like the exploration of Superman's past as it relates to Lex Luthor and everything like that. I thought that was really fun, their connection from, youth. And sort of like, Superman sort of establishing himself and everything, and just all of the cool, fun, crazy antics we get to see, and all of the, the classic characters that we know and love. I thought the first little arc was pretty darn good. It was a cool introduction, something that I've never really seen from Superman before, so I thought that was cool. But it really just like grows from there and just gets phenomenal. This is definitely one of the best Superman's comics that I've read. And probably the best Superman comic that I've read this year, honestly. I like Earth One, New 52 is pretty good, but I think this one definitely takes the cake. It is great. And then I went on a trip for my cousin's wedding, and I brought two comics with me. I brought Holy Roller by Andy Samberg and Rick Commander. This was pretty fun. I've mentioned this before, it is not nuanced even in the slightest, but it's very fun, very bombastic, but still has that emotional core and still has an interesting and meaningful story, so I like that. This guy dealing with sort of the ailments of the modern age decides to pick up a bowling ball and, bash some fascist heads in, so there you go. I mean, what more could you ask for? Pretty outlandish, crazy, but also, once again, meaningful, has a lot of Andy Samberg humor, so if you're familiar with any of Andy Samberg's work, especially Lonely Island, and you like it, then, Holy Roller might be your thing. I'm going to be brief. I can talk about Criminal until I turn blue, and I don't want to be a smurf, so, I brought Coward with me, and I was like, after I finished, I wish I brought Lawless too, because I was dying for more. I've probably mentioned this before, I was reading this, how could this get better? It somehow gets so much better. Like, Coward almost looks, I don't want to say mediocre, but it's really good. It's great, but it somehow, feels not as big. Like, it has to start somewhere, so it's just fascinating, looking back at Coward and stuff, and just still being amazed of it. It's still a great story. I think about it a lot. It's phenomenal. But it only gets better from here, mostly. There's only, maybe a few of them that I thought weren't as good as Coward, but even still, the whole series is fantastic. Do yourself a favor and read some Criminal. Even just pick up one or a few of the trades. This one is cheap. This one's only $10. Image does this great thing where if it's the first trade in a volume, or in a series, it'll probably be $10 just to get you in, to see what you're thinking, and then, you'll buy all of them. So you fall into the trap just like I did. This great neo-noir story, easily one of the greatest noir comics of all time, and I would dare say one of the greatest comics of all time. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips are a phenomenal team. I'd love to read more this year. I do actually have Kill or Be Killed right here, and Pulp, you can kind of see right there, which I'll be reading this year. I also would like to read Fatale, so I got some gift cards. I was like, I know what I gotta buy now. But anyways, really just super talented artists that just make such wonderful stuff, such very, very varied stuff too. A lot of stuff dealing with crime and everything, but also sort of an analysis of comics in general, and just sort of just a lot of just really fascinating stories that are very meaningful. We'll be doing a big video on Criminal pretty soon, don't you worry. I'm going to talk about every single one of them. I'm talking about 11 volumes and 2 single issues, I'm pretty sure. I think that's it. And they're making another one this year as well that's focusing on Ricky Wallace. I'm very much excited for that. I forgot what it's called, but it's going to be cool. I reread The Long Halloween. We did a video on that as well, so there we go. But I was like, I haven't read this in a while. I was gonna save it for Halloween, and I just blasted through. I was like, all right. I read this like insane. I read like 4 issues a day practically sometimes. So this is one of my favorite comics of all time. I wanted to make sure, and I can confirm that it is. It is a great comic. I think it does a great job at not only exploring all of these villains in the world and the story that's going on here of this murder mystery of the Holiday Killer, but also exploring Bruce Wayne's own inner psychology in a very meaningful way. A very emotional way too, the Mother's Day issue especially. Wowie. Very, very hard-hitting stuff. I'm gonna reread Dark Victory this year. I meant to do it last year, but I ran out of time, so as you can see, I had a lot of other things to read. But got another one, Authority. I really hope this movie happens, because this feels like the perfect thing to adapt into a movie. It's very, very big. It's cinematic. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I liked it. Midnighter's the best character. You know, you can't argue with that. Like these unique cast of characters. The only problem I had was it's not as personal as I would have liked it. It's very, very big, large event focus, which is very fun. And once again, the scope is massive. Really good stuff here. You get attached to the characters, of course. I found myself really enjoying some of the characters, especially the engineer and Jenny Sparks. But it doesn't have as much interpersonal stuff as I wished. It does have some of its moments and everything, and I think as it goes on, it gets a little more interpersonal. But I wish it had a little more. But otherwise, I still think it's a fun book. I think it's a cool. If you like longer books for compact comics, this is one of the longest ones. I don't know what is the longest one. It might be Watchmen. Is it this? I don't know. Who cares? The point is, it's pretty darn good, and it made me an Authority fan. Will I be continuing it? I don't know. I mean, we're gonna remark Memorial. I don't know, man. I don't know. But that one is good though. I mean, you know, Warren Ellis. You know, at least Mark Millar isn't Warren Ellis, but Warren Ellis is a way better writer. You can't at me for that. All right, come on. Warren Ellis is a great writer. He's just a terrible person. You know, that's his problem. But anyways. Finally got to reading some more Absolute books. I had some time before work. I had like an hours. I don't know. It's like a long time. I was like, ugh. So I went to Barnes & Noble and I picked up Absolute Superman. I was like, let's read it. I've never read most of the other ones. I've read single issues from. I've read all of the single issues except for Green Lantern. And I've of course read. I'm pretty much caught up. I haven't read the Joker issue yet for Absolute Batman, but I will. I never read anything from this, so I just picked it up, and it was very good. I liked it quite a bit. I wouldn't say it's the absolute best Absolute comic. I'm still gonna give that to Martian Manhunter and Batman, but Superman I thought was quite good. I enjoyed it. I'm excited to see where the story goes. We're gonna be doing a ranking of all of the first volumes of the Absolute universe when I have the money to buy the other ones. I only have 2 of them. And I've read all of Batman, so I don't need to buy that, but I need to buy Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Green Lantern to do that. So give me a second, alright? Hold on. Just give me a second before I do that. But we will be doing that this year, don't you worry. We'll rank all of them. But I like this discussion of AI. I didn't expect that. Sort of 2 clashes that both Lois and Clark, or Kal-El, get involved in, the sort of like this need to create and to do their own work over having it be synthesized by a machine. I thought that was cool. I like the focus of, Superman, like you get to see him on Krypton for a while. He doesn't just like get shot off as a baby into Earth. He actually, he has some time to see his parents and everything like that. So love the mystery sort of elements of that comes from that too. So it's pretty good. And the art, I mean, is very sort of edgy, but I think in a good way. I like it a lot. It's very, I keep on using the word stark. I didn't read any Iron Man this year, but it is very stark and bright. It's not dull or anything like that, or washed out like it probably would be if it was adapted into a movie. But it manages to keep this darker, edgier look to it, but it still manages to bring that pop of color. So that's pretty impressive. It's good stuff. And speaking of good stuff, holy moly, this thing has like 7 issues in it. That's insane. This is just a normal trade, and this is not even $20 unlike Marvel would be. This is probably like $25 as Marvel. Get your acts together, Marvel. But anyways, yeah. Absolute Wonder Woman was a treat, man. This was fantastic. I liked the first issue. It kind of grabbed me. I was like, okay. I didn't read any more of it. Love this sort of like almost mythological, like look that it has to it. Just something about it just screams mythology to me, so I like that a lot. It's just very, like, it's simplistic yet detailed is what I like about it. So that's cool. Just like this, like, super badass lady right here, just beating up some freaking monsters and stuff like that in a deeper way, and really, like, giving it her all and everything. She's like, if I die, then, you know, whatever. As long as I kill this thing, it's fine. The interesting stuff with Steve Trevor I thought was cool. It really is just, it's amazing. I loved it. It's really cool. The Absolute Universe is really cool. I can see why people don't like it. It's fine. But I like it a lot. It is very cool. We'll be talking about that more soon, don't you worry. Devil's Reign, I got this for $10. I've been trying to buy this, but it was like $35. Why is this $35? This does not need to be $35. 30 is kind of cutting it a little, but 35. Come on, what are you doing? What are we doing here? But anyways, Devil's Reign, used. It wasn't that used, honestly. Like, it definitely, like, it's not brand new, but I mean, it's pretty much perfect, honestly. But a great comic shop that I went up to in Illinois when I was at my cousin's wedding, so that was cool. I wanted to read this because I've read the first half of the Chip Zdarsky run. I've read up to Devil's Reign. I've not read past it, the Red Fist saga or whatever. I've not read that, the last 15 issues or whatever. Or is it longer? I don't know. But I know it's like 3 trades, so theoretically it's about like 15 issues. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like the general idea of it, this idea of like Kingpin as mayor and sort of the crackdown on vigilantes. And I like that Born Again is taking some of that element and stuff like that. It's cool. There's a lot of fun interactions and stuff too throughout this. The artwork by Marco Cicchetto obviously is phenomenal. He's such a great artist, one of my favorites. Currently working right now, really good stuff, so seeing him get to draw all these different characters is great. I don't love the way that he draws Jessica Jones, but other than that, I think everyone else is great. I wouldn't say his drawing of Jessica Jones is bad, I just didn't feel like it fitted her character that well, which you could say is bad. I don't mean the art itself is bad, I just think the depiction doesn't really match how I guess how I see the character. But, maybe I'm just insane, I don't know. But, Listen, I'm not being sexist here. I think she looks too beautiful in this book. I think she's meant to look more plain, which there's beauty in plainness, and the beauty of Jessica Jones is in her plainness as a sort of somewhat normal person, despite the fact that she has superpowers. But I digress. I think it's fine. I think it was interesting. There's definitely a lot of interesting points and everything, some gripping moments and everything, especially dealing with Matt's brother and whatnot. So I don't know. It's not as interesting. See, I'm not a very big events person, so it already has that going against it. There's some events that I really like, other stuff I'm like, yeah, that's fine, I don't care. But this was pretty good. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it for what it is. It was cool sort of seeing all these characters together and everything like that. I like the sort of the prison stuff with the Fantastic Four. I thought that was pretty fun. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Probably one of the weaker ones that I've read this year as well. But I admire it, and I like the story, and I'm glad that the story has been adapted in some interesting ways. So that's cool. New Frontier, we're going to be talking about this more soon as well, but it is. If you've not read this, if you're a comic fan and you have not read this, please, I beg you, read this. I would say pick up the larger format because you get to see, this beautiful artwork by the amazing Darwin Cook, and the wonderful coloring by Dave Stewart is just mind-blowingly good. It's sort of like these series of little vignettes and stuff that gradually builds up over time to sort of a larger threat towards the end. But explores like these. It's sort of a love letter to the Silver Age characters, and some of the Golden Age stuff too. It's sort of like it makes these Golden Age characters much more like sort of mythical and godlike and everything like that. These larger than life figures, with the exception of I say Wonder Woman still falls under that too, but it sort of like deals with some of her like problems and stuff too, her societal problems and everything as well, and sort of how she's perceived by some of the other like higher ups and everything like that. So it's sort of like it definitely peels back the curtain too, but especially for Batman, he's like this like just this freaking beast man that's like, holy crap, don't mess with him. Really cool stuff. It focuses on a lot of the more like prominent Silver Age characters from DC, such as Martian Manhunter and Barry Allen Flash and Hal Jordan Green Lantern, and sort of how they become their superhero personas and everything like that. So I think that's really awesome. I especially love the stuff with Martian Manhunter and the stuff with I'm forgetting his name and I feel bad for it, but there's a really like deep and very painful story in here that I just loved. So you get to see Rick Flag as well. That's kind of fun too. I was reading this around when Peacemaker was coming out. I was like, oh hey, you know, but it's just such a beautiful, beautiful book. Just the way that it's presented, the way the story is presented is just phenomenal, just super engrossing. You feel like you're living in that time, and it's sort of dealing with sort of the ailments of that time, and all of the wonder and amazement of classic comics and everything. It's as much as it is a love letter as it is sort of a dissection of some of the 50s goings-ons and everything like that. So of the culture and sort of the political problems and societal problems. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's just such an engrossing book. Just so good, so thick as well. That's a thick book, man. I like my books thick. Anyways, I'll never say it again. Okay, here we go. This is the only Marvel premiere that I own. Is a Fantastic Four. I mean, you got to solve everything, right? I mean, you got to do that. Really excited for this. I've heard a lot of great things about Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. Definitely a key inspiration for the Fantastic Four movie. Not necessarily the story, but the characterization of some of the characters, especially Reed. Definitely a little bit of that sauce in there. This is quite good. Artwork is pretty cool. Very much of its time as well, but in a good way. Very, very reminiscent of the, early mid 10s. The only thing that I have with this book is this definitely is not the way to read this story. I felt like it was a little trimmed down too much. It is trimmed down by Jonathan Hickman himself, so that is definitely an advantage over just like some rando like cut out, But I think it works, and I think it's fine as it is. There's a lot of good stuff in there, so it gets that emotion and everything, especially with spoilers with Johnny. But yeah, I felt like this is a better run, and it deserves something more than this. It feels a little watered down and a little trimmed too tightly, that it needs more. So I recommend personally looking more into like sort of maybe omnibuses or the larger volumes and stuff like that over this. This is a cool alternative for a cheaper price, but I just don't think this quite does the job. But it's still an iconic run nevertheless, and I still enjoyed it. We're getting down. Hold on, we're almost there, which is good. My camera battery is pretty well. We did a video on the Umbrella Academy. I feel like the first one is quite good. The second one is even better. The third one is pretty good. Not as good as the rest, but still pretty good. I'm excited to see what they're doing with this new fourth volume, which I've not read yet, but I'm waiting for the trade, which won't be out until probably the end of this year. So if we're lucky, if not, 2027, but I'm gonna be an old man by the time this comes out, but I'll read it. I'm like, hey, look at that, I remember Vanya. But anyways, yeah, quite an interesting story. Sort of a little X-Men-y as far as like this sort of team dynamic and everything like that, the sort of family dynamic that they form. But really fascinating comparing the two from the show to the actual comic. But I really enjoyed this. The artwork, of course, is really nice, cartoony, but also like sort of darker too, which I appreciate. So I think that's a cool combination there. Almost sort of like a clash in style, but very purposefully. That doesn't feel like it's a mistake, but it feels like it's very eye-catching and original. And yeah, this is just such a fun little book. Very, very unique in all of its quirky, interesting ideas. I feel like some of the characters had to get undercut by the Dave Stewart also did the art for that. There we go. There's a lot of Dave Stewart here, huh? But sort of some of it gets lost. Some of the characters get a little lost. Like I feel like we never really got to know a lot about Klaus. I think the third volume it definitely fixes that a little bit, but not as much as I was hoping, personally. But still definitely a nice addition. It's one of the few Dark Horse comics that I have, so that's cool. I have some Dark Horse Star Wars as well. That's about it though. Anyways, we talked about this one a lot, but just know, good story, not great format for this. So leave that there. I love Spider-Man Blue, one of my other personal favorite books. I mean, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale have my soul. Rest in peace, Tim Sale, you beautiful, beautiful artist. I mean, we can just talk about his art for just a little bit. I mean, look at this. I mean, come on. Very reminiscent of, like, say, John Romita Sr., which I believe was an inspiration for him as far as artwork in general. But very much matches that 60s feel and does a lot of like classic like Spider-Man stories as Peter sort of weaves through and remembers Gwen Stacy. So very deeply emotional. I mean, you know, if you don't get choked up by some of it, I don't know if you're even alive anymore, man. But super iconic story and definitely worthy of its reputation. It was very fun to read this. I'm glad that I have this in my collection finally. I didn't read it physically, so having this physically was great. Such a beautiful story. If you like just some really cool like retellings and like looking backs on like classic Marvel characters, the Colors series by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale is great. Daredevil Yellow is great. Spider-Man Blue is great. Hulk Gray is quite good. Captain America White is pretty good. Definitely the weakest of the four, but still really good stuff. That's a classic. One of my favorites. We talked about this too. It's okay. That final issue just freaking destroys it. But I think other than that though, I think it's still pretty good. It's pretty fun. I don't know. It just isn't. It isn't. It's okay. It's fine. I'm running low on battery, so I'm gonna blast for these last ones. We talked about Incognito. Pretty cool, like sort of anti-hero slash villain becoming hero story by Brubaker and Phillips. It's quite good. Classic Claremont and Wolverine. The artwork is insane. The action and stuff by Frank Miller is just to die for. Very classic. The story is quite fun too, and quite moving as well. V for Vendetta, I actually like the movie better. Sue me, alright? But I thought this was good too. Very much like written almost like classic literature, and I like that aspect. I love sort of this idea of like anarchism in the face of fascism, and how that's how you defeat, you know, the bundle of sticks. So I thought that was pretty cool. The artwork by David Lloyd is just really beautiful. Very watercolory and just, you know, steeped in these sort of shadows and everything. I don't know, it didn't quite grip me as much, but there are some great issues. I think issue 6 especially is phenomenal. I say phenomenal a lot too, so add that to the counter. But anyways, that's all that I read this year. Let me know what you all read this year. If you want me to make any videos on any of these that I've not made videos on before, let me know. And it's been a pretty exciting year, pretty fun year for comics, and hopefully I can read as much as I did this last year as I can this year. So we'll probably do another video like this again in the future.